Good morning, everyone. Bon dia. Good morning. Are you ready for another day of sharing, making friends? Yes? Yes. Okay. Woo! Great. Well, last night, at least I had a wonderful time. I heard lots of laughing. We laughed a lot. We learned. We got to know new people. I had a tailor of Lisbon in my table. I had someone who made 10 men cry in a split of a second. And, we shared a lot of fun stories. So that was wonderful. Thank you. That's much better for the hyperactive people that like to move around. Well, this morning we're starting with a session that Richard Gillingwater is going to lead for us today. I know that Richard already has a big fan group from last night. So the introduction, no, the introduction is actually very easy. I've had the pleasure of meeting Richard about 5 years ago at one of the case conferences, and ever since I've been inspired by his creative thinking and just his enthusiasm for making me remember how important emotions are in engaging our alumni. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about Richard. Richard is a thought leader. He's a creative thinker and a brand consultant and fundraiser. He specializes in creating enriched experience that allow people to connect emotionally with a brand and an organization. He works with a wide range of institutions and companies. And in education, he has branded many universities and has worked in both alumni relations and fundraising projects. So please welcome Richard.
Thank you. Brilliant, and thank you so much for sort of accommodating with the exercise. You will get more out of it, believe you me. And actually, the speakers get more out of it, interestingly, when there's that sort of energy and packed in the middle. So thank you for that. I'm going to ask one more favour. This is going to really kill you. You're not going to be my friend. Can you turn your phones off and your computers off? Just for 45 minutes. I feel like my dad again. Yeah, for 45 minutes, that's all. Because this is about engagement. Yeah? And I need to engage with you. And if you're just doing that, thinking somewhere else, you're not here. Yeah? You're not present. And a big part of what you're trying to do is get people present, aren't you? Listening to what you have to say. So just bear with me on that, yeah? For 45 minutes. That's all. Okay. So, I've been listening. I've been sensing your fears and your passions from yesterday in your discussions that you've had. What drives those behaviors? Yeah? What are you doing because of those fears? And what are you doing because of those motivations that despite the challenges, you keep going? And the biggest fear, I might be right, I might be wrong, is that actually, how do I activate that dormant, large group of people who don't engage? They sign up, they just say yes, but they're not engaged because they're the people that generate that greater return on the investment. Yeah? You can waste a lot of time. That's what I sense is your biggest fear. And because of that fear, I also sense that you do a lot of this. Your actions are get more data, do more activities. Let's put another campaign in before we go live. Let's more analytics on our platforms. We can't have enough analytics. I don't know why we need analytics, but we can't have enough of it. And targeting. Let's just really go for those people who are going to generate the biggest return. So that's our response to that fear mechanism. That sort of primitive reptilian part of our brain that actually as just human beings, we succumb to it. Yeah? You succumb to those fears. And you end up putting offerings in front of the gods, at the feet of the gods, and say, please accept my data, so that next year the rains may come and I can feed my children. This is what you do. Whether you know it or not, or whether you accept it, this is operating at a very deep level. So what are your passions that I hear? It's about relationships. It's about connecting with people. It's about getting them inspired to see their potential in themselves and generate lifelong learners and making a difference to people's lives. That's why you're here, not to collect data. So what I'm going to talk to you about is going to fuel your passion, I hope, and not feed the wolves of the fear. But in your mind, you're going to reject what I say. You will just go, no, I can't do that. No, there's no way I can go to somebody, no. So just let it sit with you, yeah? Accept that your brain is going to reject this, just for now. Because what happens is when you're at work and you go back, the reptilian part of the brain kicks in. And all that expansive love and inspiration that you felt from just relaxing, and your brain activity went to the outside part of the brain, and you had all these dreams and aspirations, and then you go back and it shrinks back to that amygdala part of the brain. It's like, oh no, I need to get more data. Oh yes, yeah? So just enjoy this moment, yes? So I work with organizations, you work in organizations who want more. More customers, more return, more increased profit, more annual growth, more. Yeah? And what they do is you convince them to invest in customer experiences, alumni experiences, touch points. And you're trying to generate these activities to generate more stuff for them. But here's the dilemma that I find in most organizations, is they don't really understand some of the fundamental aspects of engagement. They don't fundamentally understand what it is to engage and connect with people and what motivates them to do things. So they think activities are there. So they don't operate at an emotional level. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about getting into your emotions. And you'll be thinking, I'm a fairly emotional person. But you'll find that actually at the end of this session, you'll be going, I'm not that emotional. Even sitting next to people was hard work. Yeah? And we all have barriers, yeah? We get so used to them, we just think they're normal. But actually, we all have them. So, tapping into these fundamental motivations, fears, aspirations, what drives us as human beings? Now, here's the basic truth, that if you change how people feel, you change how they behave. And what you are all looking for in whatever you do is a change in behavior. You're not looking for a change in thought. You don't want them to think differently. You don't want them to understand things. You want them to do stuff, to activate, to be involved. It's a behavior that you want. And so the fundamental question that I'm going to get you to take away from this is always start off, whatever you're doing, whether it's a newsletter, a campaign, a whole internet, whatever it is, start by thinking, how do I make them feel to get them to behave in this way? What is the feeling, the psychological feeling that they need to experience in order to drive this behavior? Because as I'll show you, and you'll start to engage in it, it is our emotions that drive our behaviors, not our thoughts. Yep. We think it's our thoughts, and I'll explain the relationship, but it's our emotions that drive our behaviors. So, most organizations that I come across do this, send out stuff. Yeah? We send out stuff, right? There is a slightly rude version that Corrie knows on the end bit, but it's you send out stuff, right? And so I want to stop that break, yeah? I want us just to stop us sending out stuff. So how are you feeling? Right now, how are you feeling? Well. Bit nervous now, are you? Ooh. Yeah? So how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Fear.
Fear? Yeah. Yeah? Playing with my mind. I already have somebody who doesn't trust me from the dinner last night. So the thing is, we often say, yeah, I'm fine. But we don't really, do we, go in and each moment just check in. Actually, how are we feeling? Be aware of our feelings. So I'm going to do some stuff with you to actually start to get you to think how you're feeling. So I want you to observe. So just right now, first of all, just be aware of your body, your physical body, yeah? Your toes. Just feel where your heart's going, yeah? How dry your mouth is. Just how are you feeling in yourself right now? Really to know it, like an inquisitive mind. Yeah? What am I like? What am I feeling like? Gosh, I wish you could see your faces. This is only half of it. Okay. So how can you make someone feel better? How can you make someone feel better? Where's the how do you make your daughter feel better when she cries? Do you understand at all? No. Okay. How would a mother make a daughter feel better when she cries?
Talking with her. Kissing.
Yeah? We hug. So give the person next to you a hug. Give the person and monitor how you feel. A proper hug. I've just realised that there's no time thing on there, so I have no idea how I'm doing for time now. Are you feeling better? Can you feel that you're feeling better? Yeah? Okay. So, I want you to stand in a position as if you've just won a big race or a fight, or you've come first in a tournament, or you've just... What is the body position of a winner? Stand up. Stand up. Exactly. Yes. Sit down, sit down. Did anybody do this one? Isn't it interesting psychologically that actually if you have the same feeling, you demonstrate the same physical behaviors across 25 countries? The same emotion drives the same behavior. So behaviors and emotions are deeply related. Yeah? Yes. And doesn't that make you feel good? Just doing that makes you feel good. Weird, no? Yes. I could tell you about yawning, by the way. If you're in a society that doesn't accept yawning, it's actually a really bad thing. Yawning is a powerful thing. Yawning. Really good for you. Amazing stuff. Anyway, so let me just check who's not got a smile on their face. Actually, you're looking pretty... Is that a smile or are you in pain? Yeah, you're all good stuff, all good stuff. Right, okay. Right, Richard. Deep breathing for this next bit. Okay. So, stand up, and I would like the 4 people on the end of here to come and stand here. Up. You can do what is now known as the Corrie hop, which is the accessing onto the stage. So just come up onto the stage, please. Yeah, I did say don't sit at the end, but you didn't listen. So you guys, whoever's on the end, come and stand at the front here. Yep, just at front. Now, psychologically, when you pull somebody out of the audience, out of your community, you start to feel real empathy now because you think, oh, that could be me. Yes? So you're now more alert. You're more connected. Yeah? Look at the fear. Come on, stand here. Just in a line. Believe you me, you won't like me after this. So just come on. Come on. That's it. That's it. Come forward. Come forward. There's only two. You're not getting away with it. No. Come back. Gosh, I've got so much to get through here. Right. Okay. So, for this first part, I don't want you to move at all, right? There's no movement at all. You get that? Everyone clear? Translated properly? No movement. And monitor how you feel, okay?
Hey guys.
This is just you can't stop.
This will be the Sonic. This is coming out May 6th.
May 6th.
Don't move.
Hey.
No smiling.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
Right.
All through my city,
Right foot.
all through my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. Come on, like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights, when everything goes, nowhere to hide, I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine.
Stop. Let's go. Brilliant. Thank you. Sit down, grab a seat. Thank you. Oh, Lord. Did I really do that? Yes. Okay, so are you getting the message? Actions affect how we feel, and feelings affect how we act. Yeah? So if you want someone to behave, to put themselves forward, to pay, to contribute, to participate, you have to change how they feel. So this is about deep psychology in terms of what motivates people. And now we are at a stage, which was 5 years ago, we didn't understand the science behind this. We now are starting to understand the science behind what motivates us more than previous generations. Yep. And it's really fascinating. So if you're just starting out, this is an amazing time to start to understand this. And if you've been doing this for a long time, it's always a good time to start. So, and the truth is, we're humans. Yeah? We're not Spock. We have emotions. And actually, there is scientific evidence that shows if you lose the ability to have emotions, you cannot make decisions. Yeah? So, it's all about T. Oh, not that T. This T. Thoughts, emotions, actions. And what happens is thoughts drive our emotions, and then emotions from memories drive our thoughts, and we get a cycle. So thoughts affect emotions, and they go backwards and forwards. And emotions and actions affect each other. But thoughts by themselves do not drive actions. Thoughts can create emotions that create actions. So the thing is, when you do communication, what thoughts do you need to put in place to generate the emotions to create the actions, rather than just thinking about the thoughts? And if you don't feel anything when you look at the communication, there is no feeling in other people. And you've got to be sensitive to that. So, and there's a whole lot of science behind this. I'm not going to go into it too much because I want to stay in the body. But, we cannot make any decisions without emotions. It is just... And the logical brain, do you feel it now? Is going, that's not right. If I ask them to do something, surely they do it. No, you feel it. Yeah? Even if it's a small feeling. Right. So, let's just show you this little video.
I want to tell you a story about a little boy named Ben. Ben is 2.5 years old, and Ben has brain cancer. And Ben's really happy. He's happy because he's been through 2 rounds of chemo and radiation, and he feels good for once. He doesn't feel yucky, and his father's enjoying seeing Ben's happiness. But as the father tells the story of Ben and his cancer, the father's voice begins to break. And he says, it's very difficult to play with Ben because Ben thinks everything is wonderful, but I know something that Ben doesn't, that Ben's dying. And he talks about how difficult it is to play with Ben, knowing that in 3 or 6 months, Ben will be dead. And yet Ben is so happy, he's so beautiful. And so the father tries as hard as he can to enjoy Ben, to be joyful around Ben. But then he says in the middle of this short story that it's an amazing thing to know how little time one has left. And as he says that statement, he has merged himself with his son. It's as if the father himself is dying. So in my laboratory, we've studied this story extensively. And what we found is that 2 primary emotions were elicited. One is distress, and the other is empathy. At the same time, when we asked people what they felt after the story was over, we really couldn't get very clear answers. So we began doing other studies on this story. So we took blood before and after, and we found that the brain produced 2 interesting chemicals. One is called cortisol, which focuses our attention on something important. So cortisol correlated with our sense of distress. So the more distress you felt, the more cortisol you released, and the more you paid attention to that stimulus. The second chemical release is called oxytocin, which is associated with care and connection and empathy. And oxytocin was correlated with people's sense of empathy. And the more oxytocin they released, the more empathic they felt towards Ben and his father. Now, we did something different after this experiment. We gave individuals a chance to share money with a stranger in the lab. And indeed, those who produced both cortisol and oxytocin were more likely to donate money generously to a stranger they couldn't see in the lab. In another experiment, we gave individuals a chance to donate money to a charity that works with children who are ill. And indeed, those who released oxytocin and cortisol donated money to this charity. And in fact, the amount of oxytocin released predicted in both cases how much money people would share with a stranger or with charity. What we're seeing is that this narrative is changing behavior by changing our brain chemistry. So we decided to go a little further and ask, could we actually predict before they watched the video who would donate money to charity? So with funding from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, we reran the study in which we not only took blood, but now we measured heart rate and skin conductance and respiration. And using these additional measures, we were able to identify this distress response and this empathic response, and we could predict with 80% accuracy who would donate money to charity. These individuals get paid about $20 to be in an experiment, and the people who donated money on average donated half their earnings.
Now, you can't take blood tests of all your alumni or alumni. And by the way, from a branding point of view, I don't like the word alumni. I think it's really limiting to you as more tactical, and I think if you talk about a community and the wider community, it makes you more strategic, but that's just my view. So what's happening in the world of marketing and branding is that people are trying to now not segment by socioeconomic profiles, but by their chemical makeup, because certain people have naturally more cortisol in them than other people. Some people naturally have more testosterone, and those people naturally behave in certain ways. So what you're looking for is not taking a blood test, but you're looking at behavioral traits that indicate the presence of higher levels of this. So you're looking at what behaviors people action, which indicates their chemical compound, which then implies future behaviors. It's a really strange world we're getting into, but there's a real science behind all of this. And it's all fueled by this concept of emotionomics, how emotions drive financial markets, investments. Yeah? Even some hard-nosed decisions are driven by the emotions and the psychology that goes in there. Now, you operate in a very changing world with changing expectations, but so do other organizations. And one of the things I hear is we're not competing against anyone else. We have our own alumni, our own customers, our own students, and therefore we're not competing with another university. But let me tell you, you are competing with major brands for them to join their communities and be connected. So you are in a hugely competitive marketplace as far as your stakeholders are concerned. And I want to talk to you about some of the things that are going on in that world and how brands are starting to operate. So people desire experiences, not goods now. Yeah? We are now evolved from that point of just wanting a washing machine. We want a washing machine that's got a big window for some reason that you can pop your sock in for 5 minutes after you've started the machine running. Yeah? And it's that whole idea of people wanting to have experiences. And what's happening is in your universities, people think of experiences as physical touch points. We've got a library, a new library. We've got this sports gym. Oh, we're delivering a better student experience because we now have better accommodation. But that's not an experience. Those are physical transactional touch points. It's still important how you make someone feel and what that is building towards. And what you find is that within most institutions, that experience is fragmented. You're bounced around from different types of experiences. And there isn't one consistent experience that pulls you together. From an alumni point of view, are you trying to create within targets a certain type of experience, a feeling for that group to drive that behavior? Or are you just trying this over here and that? So, what now is happening, and it was discussed yesterday, that actually it isn't a case of you laying on an experience within your platforms, just going, we've created this group, please join. What really is happening now in the world of brands is that they're collaborating with customers to get them to generate stuff and enable things to happen. So a bit like Diana who's going, I'm going to collaborate with people to make that happen. I'm not going to get it all to happen. And, well, just watch this. It's funny. Who knows where I am on time? Well, try not to laugh, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's the only clue. Try not to laugh. Is that their time? 10 minutes left. So, that was done by Pepsi, I think, or Coca-Cola. Because what they're trying to do is make you feel stuff, right? In branding terms now, it's not about B2B, B2C, it's B to humans. And you're trying to connect with people emotionally. You know, taste the feeling. If you look out there, it's all about emotional stuff. And what they're doing now to really connect is drive communities. So this is about communities actioning stuff that brands are working together and they're making these really active. So actually just saying come online and be part of something is now not good enough. You have to actually do more collaborative work that makes more tangible experiences, that has real benefits for people. This is the competition that you're really facing, not other universities. The question is, what do you want to make them feel? Yeah? That's the big science now, that if you know this, you can't just make them feel good. What's good? Nice. Happy. Right? So what is it that we want to make them feel? So let's just take one thing. How about falling in love? The science of falling in love has been worked out. So let me share with you, if you want your community to love you, this is what you need to do. First of all, you surprise and delight them. You create energy, excitement. So that whole thing of the wrong guy who's got the motorbike and you jump on the back and it's just, why did I fall for that guy? Because he made it exciting. And it changes your chemical compound. And that excitement is first part. So ask yourselves, what are you doing to create some real excitement, some real buzz within that community. You know, are you creating art? Are you creating something special? Are you putting on a big event? There was a university in Holland, I think, that identified one alumni that at the end of the year, they would make them famous. And they put their face all across the town, on billboards, on newspapers. It was an amazing thing, right? It wasn't just a sort of an award. They were literally big posters in the city with that one person's name. And it was like huge excitement, huge energy. So the next thing is intimacy and authenticity. So how do you become intimate and authentic? It's not being corporate. It's not being that we're a big institution. You've got to get that real stories and connect with people. Yeah, we've talked about targeting, but that's really important. The bit that people do not do as much is the last bit. Hero and special. You have to actually do something that goes out of your way. Why would I fall in love with somebody who's not willing to do some things or make me feel special? So what are you doing for your community that you're actually going, I'm taking that one step further. I'm putting myself out there on your behalf. If it's all too safe, if you're just standing back and we have a platform for you. Yeah? No, how can they love you? Yeah? Right. So you've got to do stuff that actually really connects with people. This is about not just little emotions. This is about deep emotions if you want deep behaviors. You need to become experts in emotional engagement. Now, there are some really interesting drivers on this. So we talked about the why at the beginning in the Simon Sinek. And there are really interesting fundamental drivers in life in deep levels. There are needs. You can analyze lots of different models. Here's one. It was done by a guy called Jim Stengel, which is about human values. And these are really core human values. And what's interesting is how they connect to what you do. So one of the core ones is enabling connection. That is a real human driver. We want to connect. I know you didn't seem like you did when you were forcing you together, but it's human nature to want to be. You feel better when you're connected. That's why we created the colours. That's why we got you together. It was better. The meal tasted better because you connected with people. You had more fun. Yeah? So there's lots of drivers. So one of the key things I want to talk about is moving from tactical to strategic and how you can do that, because I think you need to do that. I worked with a school, Radley College, a boys' college. They basically have people on their books before they're born. Parents sign them up to this college to be there, and then the college will say, what's his name? And they'll say, he doesn't have one yet. But can I get him there? For 25 years ahead, they have pre-bookings. But they were wanting to do bigger investments, change stuff. And their campaign currently was fragmented. They had a sort of vision. They were doing a bit of alumni work, a bit of fundraising, this activity, that type of fund, this one over here. And it was just so fragmented. And they asked me to do a fundraising campaign. And I said, no, I wanted to just pull it all together. I wanted to create a vision. And I say that you have a duty in terms of alumni relationships as a part of a community is to help your institution formalize its vision and share that with the stakeholders internally and externally. I think there's a real role and opportunity for you to do that. So what was the Radley feeling that I was trying to create? So I went into the organizations and they said a lot of things to me, but I tried to feel something. And this is the feeling that I got.
เขาจะได้อะไรถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวัน เขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลย ไม่ได้รวยขึ้น ไม่ได้ออกทีวี ไม่มีใครรู้จัก ไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้นเพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
Do you feel it? Yeah? So this is what I felt in this organization. These children have parents with incredible wealth, yeah, incredibly privileged. But the VC in charge wanted, when he was talking, I could feel that behind all the corporate messages that he was saying, this is what he was really trying to say. So I sat down with him and rewrote his entire vision, his values, the mission for the whole organization, the strategy. We looked at the whole structure. And we started to try and work out how could we engage that organization with that feeling? Because I now knew it. I'd shared it with them, like you feel it. So we didn't have thousands of pounds to spend, but I needed to create a video, and videos are really powerful. So, we needed to create a concept as well, an umbrella idea. So the idea was finding greatness within, and using the R of Radley and just connecting with that, and the R's inside, so it's like inside you. Yeah, but just that in itself is not emotional enough. Yeah, you just wouldn't get it from that. So we created one vision, and then we produced this.
The world in which Radley finds itself is ever-changing. There are new landscapes to navigate and exciting new horizons to explore. For those who can seize them, the opportunities are bigger and bolder than anything previous generations could have imagined, breaking down geographic, political, social, economic and cultural boundaries, bringing diverse ideas and people together. The great schools of the 21st century will need to adapt to make the most of this different, faster, smaller, truly global world. And the boy who can find personal fulfillment and happiness in that world, and who will go on to make a difference not just to his own life, but to the lives of others, will need some special qualities. These qualities aren't just the preserve of future captains of industry, world leaders, the famous or the uniquely gifted. They're not exclusive to presidents or prime ministers, bishops or generals, film stars or sporting legends, nor can they be gained in the pursuit of wealth, power, or fame alone. True greatness is found within. It comes from inner strength and self-belief, from a sense of service and duty, to carry on when life is hard, when others give up, to set an example to others, to lead, to know that respect is earned, to desire to help a fellow human being, to listen to and learn from others, to balance belief and confidence with humility, to make the most of change, to accept and exercise responsibility with grace, to serve, to become a great son, husband, father, friend, neighbour. We must equip all of our boys with the values, the moral courage and inner strength not merely to succeed in the modern world, but to make it better for those around them. We must attract and provide opportunities for boys from different backgrounds who demonstrate the qualities we value, transforming not only their lives, but also the lives of all those boys around them. Radley must be a bastion of excellence, not just privilege. We must create a school that provides world-class teaching within world-class facilities. We want all our boys to have the understanding, skills, and global awareness to contribute positively to a changing world, to become people who quietly but assuredly do the right thing, every time, everywhere. People who understand what it means to be a global citizen.
So we launched that in front of all the parents, a whole load of alumni, everybody. And the response was immense, and the fundraising blew their budgets away. So in summary, it's not what you say, but how you make people feel. Tune into your own emotions. Be more aware of how you feel, so that you're looking at the communication and message in a way that you recognise there's some value in it. Build experiences in collaboration with communities. And finally, or not finally, define how you want to make people feel. What's the science behind it? And find ways to activate these. What's disconnecting them from this experience? How do you enable this stuff to happen? What differentiators? What are you going to do? Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for going over. No, I don't think you have time, do you?
Do you have time for questions? Yeah, right. Questions?
Just feelings.
Just feelings. Do you feel the love?
What do you feel? No fears.
You can ask me later because we have run over time. I can see
Yeah.
the red light flashing. So
Right.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Richard. I mean, at least I went from fear, excitement, sadness. I cried, I laughed, I danced.
I was hoping you'd feel something.
Exactly.
I know you would anyway, Sandra.
So, no, it's wonderful. Yes. And like I said, you always challenge me and challenge us to really go deep and think about feel, the word not think, feel what it is that we want others to feel. And I thought that was very powerful in terms of how we want to make others feel will change their behavior. And that for me is a good takeaway. Well, Richard, I want to give you a big hug. Thank you.
So everybody, we're doing this one. So practice this one, Share the love. Whoa.